We're going to talk to Mr. Wonderful, my great friend, Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O'Leary Ventures, Shark Tank investor, and author of Cold Hard Truth on Business and Life. Kevin, just take a whack at this illegal immigration story. I mean, you're a resident of many different countries, but you're a legal resident of those countries, as I recall. So what's your take on this?
Well, I certainly try and keep my legal status, Larry. You're right about that. This situation is rather interesting. History is repeating itself. You recall, and I know you recall, 2016 election, border security became a huge partisan issue. And it's happening again. We're watching it. It means basically nothing's been fixed since 2016. And it will again be a major part of the presidential election. The difference now that I think we have to start talking about, besides border security, you remember the building the wall thing and all that, it's all coming back because it's not fixed. But there's another narrative emerging on immigration. It's broken in other ways. We bring in a lot of highly skilled labor into America. We also train some very high-end engineers in all disciplines of engineering at great institutions like MIT and many other colleges. And then we kick them out of the country. That is bad policy. The Canadians took advantage of this last month. They're now writing visas to everybody getting kicked out after the U.S. spent millions of dollars turning them into highly qualified engineers. Other countries are going to do the same. Why are we continuing that? So, you know, I'm doing one of my visits to Washington, D.C. next week, Larry. I'll be reporting back to you when I get back from the Hill. This is on my topic list. This is a problem, and small business as usual. I'm going to go pound the drum for small business. But I'm watching this immigration issue expand to being a bigger issue than just border security. We have to keep the talent in the country. You just made reference to it.
Well, I agree about keeping the talent in the country, 100%. That's an important piece. It's a small piece of the illegal problem, but yes, it's an important piece, and you should lobby for it. I mean, look, I will say this. The Trump administration had a pretty good program for immigration reform. Included in that program was what you were just talking about. And by the way, the proposals we had opened the door to people who speak English, who had some experience in business, for example, who had some certain education, and so forth and so on. We had those provisions. We couldn't get anywheres with the Democratic Congress. So we can revisit this at some point. But yeah, we should keep the talent in the country. All right, let me ask you this. We should probably keep some new talent in the Federal Reserve. I was very unhappy with Jay Powell's presentation yesterday, and here's why. We're approaching a $100 barrel of oil. Now, that's not Powell's fault. That's the administration, Biden administration people, because of the war against fossil fuels and production cuts around the world. But oil spikes, such as the one we're experiencing now, can cause inflation for quite some time. And Powell never made mention of it. Our own Edward Lawrence finally got around to talking about it and asked Powell a question. And Powell said, well, you know, these oil spikes don't contribute to inflation. Of course they do, Kevin Leary. Of course they do. And I think that one of the reasons interest rates are going to stay high and probably have to go higher, the inflation rate is going to go higher. What's your take on all this? I mean, the stock market is now falling on a daily basis again.
Well, the stock market's reacting to Powell's comments that were very hawkish. You made reference to it just now. And now we see the Treasury rates have gone to new highs. So the interest rates are moving up. Stocks are going down. That's been a relationship that's existed for hundreds of years. The oil issue is different. It's policy, and it's clear to everybody now, painfully obvious. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on this one, that the transition to green isn't going to happen as fast as people think. And so we need to figure out a way to deal with this oil price. And the oil price is actually a forward futures market. The market's trying to determine, yes, there's cuts in Saudi, yes, maybe cuts in the UAE, and the Saudis are building refineries in China and supplying them with crude. We need to increase from 12 million barrels a day in America to 18 million.
Right.
That's over a 30% increase.
Right.
But we can do it over the next 5 years. That would solve the price of oil. We'd be energy independent. We'd be energy secure. I don't know why this can't be a bipartisan issue. Everybody knows oil is not going away.
You are right. You are completely right. There's at least one candidate calling it liquid gold. It's not going to go. We've chronicled, I did it again last night and the night before, hundreds of items people use on a daily basis, including doctors and surgeons and consumers and households. Hundreds of items are petroleum derivatives. And you can't knock oil out of the economy. And you're right, we should be running up to 15 million barrels a day, then 17 or 18 million barrels a day. I agree. But, Kevin, this is going to increase the inflation rate. It's not going away. The price of oil is going up, not down. The Fed, you're right, the 10-year bond is up to 4.5% and rising. That's bad for stocks. It's bad for stock multiples. The Fed's got to buckle up. I mean, I don't know why they're pausing. They should they're going to have to stop the oil spike from becoming embedded into the economy as permanent inflation. That's my criticism of the Fed. Be honest with us. Be transparent.
Yeah, I expect another 50 basis points, terminal rate to 6%.
Yes.
That's going to really hurt small business. It's going to cause those rates for current accounts in the regional banks to get up between 10 and 11% for an average family business, which is not a triple A rated business. I mean, people forget there's a very powerful effect occurring here to 60% of the economy. I've been banging the table on small business for a while. Regional banks have a horrible situation with these rate increases around commercial real estate portfolios, most of them office, which are practically worthless now because nobody's in them. I think this is going to start cracking in Q4, right in the middle of the presidential election cycle. So these issues will trickle to the top. And remember, Larry, going back to oil, you can't get just oil solved by barrels. You need refineries to turn it into distillates.
Yep.
Jet fuel, diesel, the plastics you spoke of, gasoline. We need 6 more of those near pipelines. So that means Cushing, that means North Dakota, that means West Virginia. This is not brain surgery. We have to do this or we're going to be in real trouble in 3 years on the whole oil issue.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Kevin O'Leary, I hardly ever disagree with you. It's really very interesting. We're going to 6% on the Fed funds target rate. You've said this before. Kevin Hassett said it the other night. I agree. I've said it for a while. That may be the minimum. I think the stock market is starting to sniff that out, and it's going to be a big problem. Anyway, thank you for your comments on immigration, on oil, on stocks. I got to think of something, next time you're on, we're going to delve deeper into society. We'll have.
Let's talk about watches, Larry. Let's talk about watches. You have West Coast time, LA, New York time on the other wrist. That's the plan.
A long time ago, a great businessman, a fabulous human being named Peter Grace. I don't know if you remember Peter Grace, who ran Grace and Company. I met him in the Reagan administration because he was in charge of reforming the budget and accounting. And he used to wear, Peter Grace was obviously worth a lot of money in the shipping business and whatever. He wore watches on both hands. That's the first time I ever saw that. And
I'm doing it again. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back.
You're the best.
East Coast, West Coast.
You're the best of the best. Kevin O'Leary, thank you, sir. We really, really appreciate it.